Hey, it's your old pal Lucid Stew again. Today I've been working with trees a lot and it reminded me of a video by Sakku's Mind from a little while back where they made a forest in 30 minutes. In that video they made a pretty basic tree in 7 minutes. In this video I'm going to make a more advanced tree in 5. When you're done watching this, check out Sakku's video to compare. I've issued a challenge to Sakku's Mind, so we'll see if they can answer this video. Okay, I'm in sculpture mode and I'm using the curve tool to make a primitive trunk. This is a single curve tool shape. I'm giving it a little bend for style. Next, I'm going to switch over to the smear tool and I will use a sphere shape surface snapped. I'm going to slowly smear some spheres while dragging the tool up the surface of the trunk. At the same time, I'm pressing down on the D-pad to decrease the size of the spheres. I'm going to repeat this process all the way around the trunk. This will accomplish 2 different objectives. The first will be to give the trunk some character. We will address the second objective in a moment. This won't be the prettiest tree, by the way. Mainly, I'm trying to make it more technical and faster than Sakku's Mind's tree. We're just about all the way around now. If we clone the smears we just laid down on the trunk, it gives us a bunch of handy branches. And that was the second objective. This tree is a little crazy with the branches, but if you take a couple more minutes to do this, it can look really nice. Right now I'm working on another more advanced video about making a tree, and you'll see this approach employed in that as well, but in a slightly different way. Trunk and branches are done. Let's move on to the canopy. I'm selecting random green for color. I'm going to be smearing surface snapped spheres again, but this time around the tops of the branches we just sculpted. I want a greenish blob about the size of the tree canopy. If I wanted to be pithy, I could crank the looseness on this and call it a day at 2 minutes, but let's have some fun with a technique you may not have seen before. First, I'm going to get rid of the lower half of our blob with a negative smear, again in random green. Now I'm going into gadgets. What's this? I thought this was a sculpting video. It is, just watch. I've surface snapped an advanced rotator to the blob. I will do the same with 3 signal generators. I will hook each signal generator up to an axial input on the advanced rotator. Then for each signal generator, I'm going to turn the sweep down to 0 while dragging the max and min values to some random number. It doesn't matter as long as the different signal manipulators aren't the same. Higher values are better in this instance. And that's our logic setup for this exercise. Now I'm going back into the sculpt. I'm going to smear positive surface snapped pyramids with a green random color. When I click R3 and edit, time starts running and the logic activates. Our sculpt spins rapidly in random directions, and all we really need to do here is hold R2 to smear pyramids with our imp somewhere on the shape. The rotation does all the work. For the purpose of making a canopy, 1 to 2 minutes is usually all you need. Before I thought of making a canopy this way, the last tree I made took me 6 hours. This tree is not that much worse and will take 6 minutes. We've given it plenty of time, so we'll wrap up smearing on the canopy. At that point, we will delete the logic and the large spheres so that only the pyramids remain. Since the spheres are smears, there is only one to delete. Then we'll exit sculpture mode and turn the sculpture detail down with the sculpture detail tool. When that is reduced an acceptable amount, we will turn impasto all the way up and add some looseness. All that combined will make it fluffy. Now we want to choose a fleck type which better suits the theme. I like dots and splat fleck types for leaves, so I will choose splat and then apply it. I'm then going to make a copy of the sculpt and apply dots fleck to the copy. I will rotate and place those two together to try to fill any gaps on the sculpt. And then after that, I'll spend about 10 seconds trying to multi-select them before I'm successful, and then I'll place them on the tree. I'm leaving this in because I don't want there to be any cuts in the video so it doesn't look like I cheated anywhere. And that is done in about 4 minutes and 45 seconds. Perfectly acceptable, but let's take a moment to improve it slightly. First I'll select the canopy, then copy it, and then scale the copy down a little to fill in the space inside the canopy some. That's a lot better, but I need to spend 20 seconds on ticky-tack adjustments even in a speed build video because that's just how I roll. Again, I'm not editing this part out because I don't want it to look like I've cheated anywhere with cuts. Twirling and twirling, and I realized I didn't turn the sculpture detail down on the trunk and branches after I finished that. So I'll hit it 6 or 7 times and the result is 1% thermal for all this, which if I'm not mistaken is the cheapest tree I've made. And done for good this time. If Sakku's Mine wants to take the real time as 5 minutes 45 seconds, I can live with that, but this was done a minute sooner, so let's see if they can beat 4 minutes 50. Another tree video is coming soon. This one will be more involved, but that's all for now. Until next time, I'll see you in the Dreamiverse.